Picture this: you're standing at the edge of your life, looking out at everything you've built, your relationships, your career, your dreams. Now, imagine every word you've ever spoken as a brick in that landscape. Some bricks are sturdy, holding up towers of achievement. Others are cracked, crumbling under the weight of doubt and negativity. What if I told you that the words you choose today could rebuild that entire scene? That by changing how you speak, you could change your entire world. Don't scroll away, because this isn't just another motivational video. This is a masterclass in transformation. Over the next hour, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step blueprint to harness the power of your words, rewire your mindset, and create a life that lights you up. You'll discover secrets that the most successful people use, practical tools you can start today, and a mindset shift that will keep you glued to this screen. By the end, you'll have everything you need to speak your future into existence. Let's dive in. This could be the moment your life takes a new direction. Words aren't just sounds. They're not just fleeting thoughts that vanish into the air. Words are architects. Every time you open your mouth, you're designing something: your confidence, your relationships, your destiny. Think about the last time you said something like, "I'm not good at this," or "I'll never figure it out." Those weren't just words, they were instructions. Your brain heard them and said, "Got it. Let's stay small." But what happens when you say, "I'm learning," or "I'll find a way"? Your brain shifts gears. It starts looking for solutions, spotting opportunities, and pushing you forward. That's the power of language. It's not just communication, it's creation. Let me share a story to make this real. A few years back, I met someone named Alex. He was in his late 20s, working a dead-end job, and feeling like life was passing him by. Alex was talented, but his words were his worst enemy. He'd say things like, "I'm just not lucky," or "This is as good as it gets for me." Those phrases weren't just complaints, they were predictions. And his life kept proving him right. He was stuck because he spoke stuck. But then something shifted. Alex started paying attention to his language. He replaced "I'm not lucky" with "I'm creating my own opportunities." Instead of "This is as good as it gets," he'd say, "I'm building something better." Within a year, he'd started a side hustle, networked with mentors, and landed a job he loved. Why? Because he stopped planting weeds and started sowing seeds. His words changed his world. This isn't just a feel-good story, it's grounded in how our minds work. Psychologists talk about something called self-fulfilling prophecy. When you speak negatively, you prime your brain to expect failure, which makes you act in ways that create failure. Say, "I always mess up," and you'll hesitate, overthink, and sabotage yourself. But say, "I'm growing through every challenge," and you'll take risks, learn faster, and bounce back stronger. It's like programming a computer. Negative words write code full of bugs, crashes, errors, and dead ends. Positive, intentional words write clean, powerful code that runs smoothly. Neuroscientists back this up. Positive self-talk lights up the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles planning and problem-solving. Negative talk triggers the amygdala, flooding you with stress and fear. So, every time you speak, you're choosing which part of your brain takes the wheel. Let's get practical. How do you start using words to build instead of break? Step 1. Audit your language. For the next 24 hours, become a detective of your own speech. Carry a notebook or use your phone to jot down what you say, out loud and in your head. Notice the patterns. Are you saying, "I can't," more than "I can"? Are you venting about problems or focusing on solutions? Don't judge yourself, just observe. Awareness is the foundation of change. Once you see what you're saying, you can redirect it. For example, if you catch yourself saying, "I'm so bad at this," pause and reframe it, "I'm still learning, and I'm improving." It's not about faking positivity, it's about framing the truth in a way that moves you forward. Here's where it gets personal. I used to be my own worst critic. Early in my career, I'd tell myself, I'm not cut out for big things. I'd see people crushing it, giving TED Talks, launching businesses, and think, that's not me. Those words weren't just thoughts, they were anchors, holding me back from opportunities one was qualified for. I stayed in safe, small roles because I spoke safe, small words. Then I made a decision. I started experimenting with my language. I'd say, I'm developing the skills to succeed, even when I didn't feel it. I'd tell myself, I'm ready to learn, instead of, I'm not ready. Those words pushed me to take risks, signing up for workshops, pitching ideas, even speaking at events. Today, I'm not just comfortable in those spaces, I thrive in them. Why? Because I changed my words before I changed my reality. Let's talk about why this matters beyond just you. Your words don't only shape your life, they shape everyone around you. Think about the last time someone's words changed your day. Maybe a friend said, I'm proud of you, and you felt unstoppable. Or maybe a colleague snapped, you're always late, and it stung for hours. Words carry energy, and you're wielding that energy every time you speak. So, choose to be the person who speaks life. Instead of pointing out flaws, highlight strengths. Instead of criticizing, offer solutions. For example, if your teammate is struggling, don't say, you're dropping the ball. Say, I know you've got this, let's figure it out together. That kind of language builds trust, inspires action, and creates a ripple effect. Here's a challenge to make this stick. For the next 7 days, commit to saying something encouraging to at least one person every day. It could be as simple as, I appreciate your effort, or, you're killing it at this. Watch how it changes the vibe around you. People will gravitate toward you, not because you're flattering them, but because your words make them feel valued. I saw this firsthand at a job I had years ago. The team was toxic, everyone was gossiping, blaming, and dragging each other down. I started small, thanking people for their work, pointing out what they did well. Within a month, the atmosphere shifted. People started collaborating, smiling, even performing better. Why? Because words set the tone, and I chose to set a positive one. Now, let's dive into what I call the vocabulary of victory. Successful people don't just talk, they talk differently. They don't say, I have to do this. They say, I get to do this. They don't say, this is too hard. They say, this is tough, but I'm tougher. These aren't just catchy slogans, they're mental frameworks that shape how you approach life. Let's try a few you can start using today. Instead of, I'm so stressed, say, I'm grateful for these challenges, they're making me stronger. Instead of, I'm not ready, say, I'm preparing for my moment. These shifts are like weightlifting for your mind. The more you practice them, the stronger your mindset becomes. Consistency is where most people stumble. It's easy to speak positively for a day, but life gets messy, bills pile up, deadlines loom, and old habits creep back. That's why you need a system. One tool I swear by is a phrase bank. I keep a note on my phone with 10 go-to phrases that reflect who I want to be. Things like, I'm stronger than my excuses, every step forward counts, and I turn obstacles into opportunities. When I'm tempted to complain or doubt myself, I open that note and say one phrase out loud. It's like hitting the reset button on my brain. Try it. Write down 5 phrases that align with your best self and read them every morning. It takes less than a minute, but it can steer your entire day. Let's talk about silence, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. Silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the ability to pause, think, and choose your response instead of reacting on impulse. Picture this, you're in a heated argument, and someone's trying to provoke you. Instead of snapping back, you take a deep breath and stay quiet. That silence isn't surrender, it's strength. It says, I'm in control of myself. Or imagine a gossip session at work. Everyone's piling on, but you don't join in. Your silence sets you apart as someone who rises above the noise. I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, I got sucked into a workplace drama. Colleagues were trashing a coworker, and I jumped in, thinking it was harmless banter. But those words came back to bite me. Trust was broken, and my reputation took a hit. After that, I set a rule: if I can't say something constructive, I stay silent. That choice has saved me from countless regrets and earned me respect I didn't expect. So, practice strategic silence. Next time you're tempted to react or join a negative conversation, pause. Ask yourself, will my words add value? If not, let your silence speak for you. Gratitude is another game changer. It's not just a warm fuzzy feeling, it's a lens that transforms how you see the world. When you speak gratitude, you're not just being polite, you're choosing what to focus on. Instead of, I have to deal with this problem, say, I'm thankful for the chance to grow. Instead of, my life is chaos, say, I'm grateful for what's working. This isn't about ignoring reality, it's about amplifying what matters. I started a gratitude practice a few years ago, saying 3 things I'm thankful for every night. At first, it felt awkward, but over time, it rewired my perspective. Problems didn't vanish, but they felt manageable. Opportunities stood out. Relationships grew stronger. Try it for a week. Before bed, say 3 things you're grateful for out loud. It's like planting seeds for a brighter tomorrow. Now, let's tackle negativity, because we all fall into it sometimes, venting about a bad day, joking about our flaws, or putting ourselves down. But every negative word is a vote against your future. It's like telling the universe, give me more of this. I'm not saying you have to be cheerful 24/7, life is tough. But you can be honest without being reckless. Instead of, I'm a failure, say, I'm learning from this. Instead of, everything's falling apart, say, I'm figuring out how to rebuild. These aren't just words, they're decisions. And every decision shapes what's next. Here's a confession: I used to be the master of casual negativity. I'd joke about how I was always broke or too clumsy to succeed. It got laughs, but it also got results. I stayed broke, and I stayed clumsy. One day, I realized I was scripting my own failure. So, I started catching those throwaway comments. Instead of, I'm a mess, I'd say, I'm a work in progress. Instead of, I'm bad with money, I'd say, I'm learning to manage my finances. It wasn't instant, but my reality started catching up with my words. I built a savings account. I stopped tripping over my own feet. Why? Because I stopped rehearsing defeat. Your network is another piece of this puzzle. The people you surround yourself with shape your words, and your words shape who you attract. If you're always around complainers, you'll start sounding like them. But if you seek out people who talk about growth, ideas, and solutions, you'll elevate your own language. A few years ago, I made a tough choice to step away from toxic conversations. Some friendships faded, but it was worth it. I started connecting with people who challenged me to think bigger, speak clearer, and act bolder. My world expanded because my words did. So, audit your circle. Who's influencing your language? Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Choose wisely. Leadership is where this all comes together. You don't need a corner office to be a leader, you need the right words. Great leaders speak vision, not complaints. They say, here's where we're going, not, here's what's wrong. They own their mistakes instead of pointing fingers. And they call out potential in others, even when those people can't see it themselves. I've worked with leaders who could change a room's energy with one sentence. They didn't shout or threaten, they spoke with clarity and belief. You can do that too. Next time you're in a tough spot, try saying, we've got this, let's make it happen. Watch how people rally around you. Your words can move mountains. Here's something most people miss: your words are a mirror. They reveal what you believe about yourself. If you're always saying, "I'm not good enough," you believe you're not good enough. But if you say, "I'm growing every day," you believe in your potential. This hit me hard in my 20s. I'd tell myself I wasn't smart enough for certain opportunities. But then I noticed something: the people getting those opportunities weren't always smarter, they just talked like they belonged. So, I started borrowing their language. I'd say, "I'm ready to learn," or "I'm up for the challenge." Doors opened, not because I was suddenly a genius, but because I sounded like someone worth investing in. Let's zoom out and talk about your future. Your words aren't just reacting to your life, they're creating it. Every sentence is a brushstroke on the canvas of tomorrow. So, paint something bold. Say, "I'm building a life I love." Say, "I'm becoming someone I respect." Say, "I'm not waiting for permission, I'm making it happen." These aren't wishes, they're declarations. And the more you declare them, the more your life aligns with them. I've seen this in my own journey. A decade ago, I was stuck in a job I hated, telling myself I'd never break free. But I started speaking differently, saying, "I'm creating my own path." It led me to new skills, new people, and a life I couldn't have imagined. Your words can do that too. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of building a language habit. Habits are built through repetition, so let's create a daily routine to upgrade your words. Every morning, spend 2 minutes on what I call the "Speak Your Future" ritual. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say 5 phrases that reflect your vision. For example, "I'm disciplined and focused." "I turn challenges into growth." "I attract opportunities." "I'm building a legacy." "I'm grateful for today." Say them with conviction, even if you don't fully believe them yet. Over time, your brain will start to internalize them, and your actions will follow. To make this stick, pair it with a trigger. A trigger is something you already do every day, like brushing your teeth or making coffee. Right after your trigger, do your "Speak Your Future" ritual. This links the new habit to an existing one, making it easier to remember. I do this every morning after my first sip of coffee. It's like a signal to my brain, time to set the tone for the day. Try it for 30 days, and you'll be amazed at how natural it feels. Let's address a common objection: what if I don't feel like it? That's normal. Motivation fades, but discipline doesn't. On days when you're tired or stressed, your phrase bank is your lifeline. Pull it up, pick one phrase, and say it out loud. Even if it's just, "I'm showing up today," that's enough to keep the habit alive. The key is to act despite your feelings. As the saying goes, you don't have to feel ready to be ready. Your words can lead your emotions, not the other way around. Another objection: what if people think I'm weird for talking to myself? First, who cares? The most successful people do things others don't understand. Second, you don't have to announce it. Do your ritual in private, your bathroom, your car, wherever you feel comfortable. And if someone overhears you saying, "I'm building my future," they're more likely to respect you than judge you. Own it. Your words are your power, and you don't need anyone's permission to use them. Let's talk about tone, because how you say something matters as much as what you say. Your tone is like the music behind your words. Say, "I'm going to succeed," in a flat, hesitant voice, and it lands like a dud. Say it with conviction, chest out, voice steady, and it's like a battle cry. Your tone tells your brain whether you mean it. I learned this from a mentor who could make the simplest phrase sound like a prophecy. He'd say, "We'll figure it out," and you'd believe him because his tone was unshakable. Practice this. Record yourself saying your phrases and listen back. Do you sound like someone who believes? If not, tweak it. Speak with the confidence you want to feel. Now, let's explore how words shape your environment. Your home, your workplace, your social circle, they all reflect the language you use. If you're always complaining, you'll attract people who complain. If you speak growth, you'll attract builders. I saw this in a friend who transformed her family dynamic. Her house used to be tense, everyone was snapping at each other, focusing on what went wrong. She started speaking differently, saying things like, "I'm grateful we're together," or "Let's make today great." At first, it felt forced, but over time, her family softened. They started echoing her language, and the whole atmosphere changed. Your words are like a thermostat, you set the temperature for your world. Let's get specific about work. Your workplace is a language battlefield. Gossip, blame, and negativity are everywhere, but you can be the one who shifts the narrative. Instead of joining the complaint choir, say, "Let's find a solution." Instead of, "This is a disaster," say, "This is a chance to innovate." I did this at a job where the team was demoralized. Meetings were just venting sessions. I started asking, "What can we do to move forward?" and offering ideas. Slowly, others joined in. Productivity went up, and I got noticed for leadership, not because I had a title, but because I spoke like a leader. Your words can make you stand out, even in a crowded room. Relationships are another area where words work magic. Think about your closest connections, your partner, your friends, your kids. How you speak to them shapes how they see themselves. A harsh word can linger for years, but a kind one can change a life. I have a friend who turned his marriage around by changing his language. He used to criticize his wife's habits, saying things like, "You're always late." It created distance. Then he started saying, "I love how you bring so much energy to everything." He focused on her strengths, and she started opening up. Their connection deepened, not because their problems disappeared, but because his words built a bridge. Try this. For the next week, focus on saying one thing you appreciate about each person in your life every day. Watch how it transforms your relationships. Let's talk about money, because your words shape your financial reality too. If you're always saying, "I can't afford it," or "I'm broke," you're reinforcing scarcity. But if you say, "I'm learning to manage my money," or "I'm creating wealth," you're programming your brain for abundance. I used to be terrible with money, always joking about my broke life. It was funny until I realized I was manifesting it. I started saying, "I'm building financial freedom," and it pushed me to learn budgeting, invest, and negotiate better pay. My bank account grew because my words did. Try this, every time you're tempted to say something negative about money, replace it with, "I'm finding ways to grow my resources." It's a small shift with big results. Health is another area where words matter. If you say, "I'm too tired to work out," or "I'll never be fit," you're giving yourself permission to quit. But if you say, "I'm getting stronger every day," or "I'm investing in my health," you're more likely to show up. I started running a few years ago, and at first, I'd tell myself, "I'm not a runner." No wonder I hated it. Then I started saying, "I'm becoming someone who loves fitness." It changed how I approached exercise. I went from dreading runs to craving them. Your words can make your body follow your mind. Let's zoom out to the big picture, your legacy. Every word you speak is a thread in the tapestry of your life. What story are you weaving? Are you narrating a tale of struggle and limitation, or one of growth and possibility? The most inspiring people I know, leaders, artists, entrepreneurs, don't just live great lives, they speak them into existence. They say, "I'm building something that matters." They say, "I'm leaving a mark." You can do that too. Start speaking like someone whose life will inspire others. Say, "I'm creating a legacy of courage, kindness, and impact." Your words are your signature on the world. Here's a final tool to tie this all together, the future letter. Write a letter to your future self, 1 year from now, using the language of victory. Describe who you've become, what you've achieved, and how you got there. Use phrases like, "I'm proud of how I showed up," or "I turned challenges into stepping stones." Then, read it out loud every week. It's like sending a message to your future, telling it what to become. I did this a few years ago, writing about the person I wanted to be, confident, impactful, financially free. Reading it kept me focused, and today, I'm closer to that vision than I ever thought possible. Your words can pull your future toward you. So, here's your call to action. Don't let this video be just another tab you close. Take one step today. Write down 5 phrases that reflect the person you want to become, things like, I'm unstoppable, or, I create my own opportunities. Say them out loud every morning for the next 30 days. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and let's spark a movement of people speaking life, not limits. Subscribe for more tools to transform your mindset, and drop a comment below. What's one phrase you're committing to say this week? Let's hold each other accountable. Your words are your superpower. Use them to build a future you can't wait to live in. Speak boldly, live bravely, and I'll see you in the next video.